is Kcal News, Los Angeles.
Right now at 11:30, summer is here and the heat is rising. We'll check it on the Inland Empire, where high temps and air quality concerns are expected this weekend. Plus, a fire breaks out at a house in Koreatown. We have the aftermath of that situation. And a USC student involved in a deadly stabbing will not be charged. The district attorney's decision is getting mixed reactions. Some say it was self-defense, but the family of the man who was killed has a different take. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kcal News at 11:30. I'm Sheba Turk. Triple-digit temperatures are expected this weekend in the Inland Empire. Kcal News reporter Rick Montanez is in Rialto with a warning about the air quality today.
As the morning goes on, we are feeling those temperatures go up, and here at Rialto City Park, we're seeing lots of people getting out early to get their exercise in before the heat of the day. Check out this map here from the South Coast Air Quality Management District, or AQMD. All of what is highlighted is in a warning zone. It stretches from Santa Clarita all the way out to cover nearly the entire Inland Empire. This is in place from 11 a.m. this morning to 7 p.m. Tuesday. All across our region, high heat and unhealthy air quality is expected for several days. We already saw elevated fire danger last weekend, and that brought several wildfires. Billowing smoke created dangerous air quality, and that risk is high again this weekend. Hot, stagnant air can lead to high ozone levels and unhealthy air quality, and not just for the most vulnerable. This can lead to breathing problems, asthma attacks, and even lung damage, according to the AQMD. This morning, people working out say they do it early because they're concerned for their health. As far as cooling centers go, there are dozens of them open all across San Bernardino and Riverside counties, but you have to check the times that they open and close because that varies all throughout the week. Reporting in Rialto, Rick Montanez, Kcal News.
Nearly 100 million Americans continue to face dangerous conditions from a blistering heat wave that's been stretching across the country. Multiple regions saw daily temperature records broken this week. People are being urged to stay inside, and cities are opening cooling centers. Now, for many, dealing with rising temperatures comes at a major cost. Energy experts are predicting household bills from June through August will average $173 a month. That's about a 3% increase than the same period last year. All right, let's take a look at some of the other big stories we are tracking today. And for that, I'm going to hand it over to assignment manager Mark Liu.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Sheba, LA City Fire had to tackle a pretty serious fire at a home in Koreatown. They were able to get this fire out in 19 minutes flat, which is pretty amazing considering this is what they had to deal with. This is that home on Kenmore Avenue near San Marino, just about 10 this morning. Kcal was actually overhead first as they were on their way down to another breaking news story when they spotted this plume of smoke coming up in Koreatown. They went to go take a look, and we saw this raging fire here on this 1,300 square foot home. This home actually more than 120 years old, and it was being consumed by that fire right there. The first arriving LA City firefighters got out, immediately began their fire attack here, getting their hose lines in place, using the water supply from those trucks to start putting water on this fire. Now, they were very aggressive with that fire. Everyone was out of the structure, including this man who LA City firefighters think was able to get out on his own, but at some point tried to go back inside through that fire and smoke to do what he said, get his dog out of there. Well, he was pushed back out of that fire. He simply couldn't go in. He suffered some minor injuries because of his attempts to get in that house, but you can see firefighters on the roof here opening up holes. One of these firefighters did suffer a minor injury to their left hand. They're going to be okay. And I spoke with LA City Fire spokesperson Brian Humphrey. He says that firefighters have been looking for that man's dog. They did see a dog running around the property, but they're not sure if that was the man's dog. They are going to keep looking for it and search the structure, but so far no other injuries here, and this fire completely extinguished, as I said, in 19 minutes. Now, there is another story that we covered also with Kcal this morning. A high-speed pursuit came to an end in the Alhambra area, but first, not without causing a crash. Okay, that is an innocent vehicle. It's a silver minivan that was struck by a fleeing red Cadillac. Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies say they went into pursuit just before 8 this morning of a red Cadillac. They said they wanted it. They believed it was a stolen vehicle. Started somewhere in the Temple City area, but came to an end here in Alhambra at New and Valley with a crash. Now, that red Cadillac, that driver got out. He was taken into custody. You're going to see it right there in the center of your screen, parked in the parking lot, and that driver handcuffed up against that LA Sheriff's deputy's patrol car. That driver suffered no injuries at all. He was taken into custody, but at least the driver of that silver minivan did have some minor injuries. Alhambra City Fire was seen checking that person out. Doesn't look like they were taken to the hospital. The intersection partially closed while they did this investigation, and then that silver minivan was towed away. That is the very latest here from the desk. I'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Mark. Well, all of this sun and heat can be dangerous if you don't take the proper precautions. Kcal's Luz Delia Caballero has more on what you can do to protect yourself.
Summer is here, and you know what that means. Lots of sunshine and...
we think of walking.
Chris and Judith Brunk say as much as they want to enjoy the day, protecting themselves from the sun is always top of mind.
It doesn't have to be the first day of summer. You get a lot of sun, and the sun is pretty tough.
Judy says she grew up in a farm in Michigan and was always out in the sun with little to no protection, adding now she's paying the price dealing with skin cancer.
I've had it a couple of times because I wasn't careful. And so mainly in my face, nose.
Which is why experts say when you are outside, it's always a good idea to have sunscreen on, wear protective clothing and hats, just so that you protect yourself from the sun.
So you're radiating your DNA.
Dr. Anna Guanche with Bella Skin Institute says regardless of skin type or whether you're in the sun a lot or not, you can still be at risk.
One sunburn in your lifetime can double your chances of getting melanoma, and melanoma is the most deadly type of skin cancer. So for example, if the UV index is between 3 and 5, it can take 30 to 45 minutes to burn. And if the UV index is 11 or more, damage can occur in less than 10 minutes.
Jenny Lopez, who works at Bella Skin Institute, says she's gotten moles removed for preventative reasons after her dad, Tony, was diagnosed with skin cancer.
He works construction, so yes, he's in the sun. That was his job. I've had a precancerous lesion that's been frozen a couple of times on my lip. I've had one on my shoulder.
No, in this case, you have to be very, very careful.
Her dad is cancer-free, and she's thankful he was able to recognize the signs and get treated before it was too late.
This is where screenings come in and body checks. If you see a mole changing, especially a dark mole, if something's bleeding, scabbing, doesn't want to heal, if it's scaly.
So next time you go outside, remember,
The sun is very dangerous.
in Santa Monica, Luz Delia Caballero, Kcal News.
Speaking of the sun, let's take a look at our weather. A live look outside, and things are definitely starting to warm up. Lots of sunshine. Let's get over to meteorologist Paul Diano with your next weather forecast. I love looking outside today, Paul.
It is nice to see the sunshine. Make sure you put on the sunscreen if you're going to be out there. But temperatures are climbing, and the sunshine is on the increase. That June gloom pattern that we were, you got to throw in May Gray as well. It was like 6-7 straight weeks. We are now putting that in the rearview mirror. 77 degrees in the Hollywood Hills, hazy sunshine outside. A little bit too much in the way of heat, especially tomorrow afternoon, Sunday afternoon. Temperatures running 10 to 16 degrees warmer than average for you in inland Orange County. That's the 90s, 90s and 100s for the Inland Empire, 90s and 100s for our valleys in Los Angeles County, including the San Fernando Valley. And excessive heat watch is in effect for the San Gabriel Mountains, highs in the 80s and 90s there, but especially the Antelope Valley, 102 to 108. Even for you, that is quite hot. So here's what we expect in Los Angeles this weekend. Certainly not as hot because of LA's proximity to the water, and beaches will only be in the 70s. But downtown Los Angeles, these would represent the two warmest days of the year. 84 on Saturday, 87 on Sunday. A couple things on Sunday. One, it's going to feel a little bit more humid. Two, there is a small thunderstorm chance. Today, just sunshine. Simi Valley 88, Lancaster 101, Chino 93, 70s and 80s for Orange County, 85 for Fullerton, Hemet 97, Palm Springs 112. So thunderstorm chance. What's going on? Well, tropical moisture can sometimes get moved from point A to point B by a big ridge of high pressure. It's to our south right now. It will head up in our direction coming up this weekend. So a small but non-zero chance of an afternoon thunderstorm on Sunday. Otherwise, 80s for the metro area, 90s, high 90s for our valleys and the Inland Empire, upper 90s to low 100s. The heat is here for a while. Sheba, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Paul. Apocalyptic scenes across southern New Mexico as wildfires continue to scorch the mountain community over Dioso. Rains have helped firefighters in their efforts to contain the flames, but they're also creating a new challenge. Kcal News correspondent Jared Hill has the latest.
In fire-ravaged Ruidoso, New Mexico, blackened trees and homes burned down to the foundation by two wildfires simultaneously raging around the mountain village. Tashina and Adrian Collazo fled earlier this week. Now, they don't know if there will be anything left to return to.
This one, it just hits different when It's your home.
The South Fork and Salt fires have scorched more than 20,000 acres, destroying about 500 homes, claiming at least 2 lives.
Firefighters that were on the initial attack, is just too much heat, too much energy for them to try to get around this.
Storms rolled through earlier in the week, helping to slow the spread, but creating another challenge in their wake: flash flooding. This RV park was overtaken by a river raging from fresh burn scars.
Luckily, a lot of people had already got their rigs and moved them out. If not, this would have been a whole lot worse.
With the fire still 0% contained, some 8,000 residents, like the Collasos, are left wondering what's next.
Thank God we're safe and
Have somewhere.
we have somewhere. There's a lot of people that don't have anywhere to go.
But grateful for what they have. Jared Hill, Kcal News.
We have new details on Alec Baldwin's involuntary manslaughter trial. The armorer, who was already found guilty of the same charge, could be forced to testify. Helena Hutchins was shot and killed 3 years ago. Baldwin's defense said that he had no reason to believe the gun was loaded with live ammunition. Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, who was the armorer, was convicted of involuntary manslaughter and sentenced to 18 months in prison back in April. Today, the judge will consider whether or not she could be compelled to testify. Her attorneys argue this would eliminate the possibility of a fair appeal or retrial. A USC student involved in a deadly stabbing is now in the clear. The district attorney is saying 19-year-old Ivan Gallegos acted in self-defense, so he will not face charges. LAPD investigators say he and 2 other students confronted Javier Cerf as he broke into Gallegos' car outside the fraternity. Prosecutors say Gallegos thought Cerf was armed with a gun and he was trying to reach for it when the stabbing happened. But Cerf's family has a very different take.
It's not self-defense when you are unarmed. I'm so sorry. That doesn't give you the right. And even if he was in some cars, I think they took justice in their own hands at the wrong matters where they should have called the police and let them do their job.
Oh, we're told the 28-year-old came here from Texas to start a social media career and had been living with friends. He says his nephew was not homeless, as detectives believed. However, he did struggle with mental illness. LA firefighters injured in a truck explosion in Wilmington are now suing the maker, designer, distributor, and owner of the semi-truck. Kcal News reporter Cara Finstrom is in Westwood with new insight into the case.
7 LAFD firefighters are behind a new lawsuit over the explosion of a burning CNG truck last February. Take a look. A security camera captured the blast in Wilmington, and dash cam footage recorded the rush to help those injured firefighters. The fireball also ignited suspended power lines. A transformer blew as well. The lawsuit alleges 8 total defendants, from the manufacturers of the tank and truck to the driver, all failed to protect the firefighters. It contends they did not mark the truck with adequate warnings. The driver did not alert 911 operators he was in a CNG truck, and that the fuel system had hidden safety defects. It seeks unspecified damages for these firefighters, who are now recovering from serious burns and other injuries. Cara Finstrom, Kcal News.
The FAA is investigating reports that a Southwest Airlines plane dropped to just 500 feet off the ground 9 miles away from the Oklahoma City airport on Wednesday. An air traffic controller sent out an alert when he spotted the plane flying too low. He radioed the pilot to see if he was okay, but the reply was inaudible. Southwest says it is investigating the incident. Well, when we come back, caught on camera, an Inland Empire grandmother's home is ransacked. We'll show you security video of the burglars at work. Plus, saving money is difficult, and a lot of Gen Xers say they're not ready for retirement. We'll have some tips on how you can get your savings back on track. Don't go away. Welcome back. The oldest Gen Xers are reaching retirement age, but many can't afford it. A new study from Alliance Life shows Gen Xers are approaching retirement less financially confident than boomers and millennials. Just 62% of them feel they can financially support all of their goals after leaving the workforce, but that's compared to 82% of boomers and 77% of millennials. Many of them say they're now trying to pay off debt, build an emergency fund, and make decisions that will improve their credit score. So if you're trying to boost your retirement confidence, here's some advice from Kinetic Financial. Start saving by living within your means. Use catch-up contributions and strategize your savings. That may mean finding a financial planner who can help you reach your goals and stop you from spending down your savings too soon. Some good news for home buyers. Mortgage rates fell for the third straight week, so this is the lowest level they've been in almost 3 months. Freddie Mac reported yesterday the standard 30-year fixed-rate mortgage averaged 6.8%, which is down from a peak of 7.22% earlier this year. Still, mortgage rates remain higher than anything seen in the last decade. The family of a Rancho Cucamonga grandmother is on edge after burglars ransacked her home. Well, now the search is on for the suspects. Kcal News anchor Juan Fernandez has more on the brazen crime.
I'm hoping that with exposure, somebody recognizes them and is willing to say something.
This home security video is capturing 2 burglars at the door of a home in Rancho Cucamonga. After knocking several times to see if anyone was home, they eventually make their way into the backyard after ripping a locked gate off its hinges and eventually busting through a back-screened door. It wasn't until the next day that a neighbor who came by to water the plants for the homeowner, who was on vacation, that she noticed what had happened.
She saw that the gate was on the ground, and she called her mom, who called the police, and then when the police came, they discovered that somebody had cut a hole through the metal security door in the backyard, and that's how they got into the house.
It took a while for the burglars to make their way inside, and it seems like they came prepared, expecting the cameras. At one point, one of them sprays the lens of the camera, but whatever it was drips down off the lens, and eventually you can still see what's going on. Jessica Pollock says all that seems to have been taken was her grandmother's vintage Barbie collection, a laptop, an iPad, and whatever was inside her grandmother's jewelry box. The burglars were inside the home for about 40 minutes before taking off. Pollock says she has since talked to her grandmother, who's lived here since 1974, and says her grandmother is now afraid to come home.
Any other day, when they broke in, it was 7:30 a.m., and that's the exact time that she walks her dogs. And I think about how she could have returned home and had these 2 men in her house, and it's terrifying, you know? I mean, I'm very thankful that she was not here at the time.
Neighbors we talked to say cameras are a must these days.
I installed the cameras about 4 years ago because they came right up. I had my truck parked underneath my window right here, and they came up and stole the tailgate off right underneath my window. And so I went ahead and installed cameras a few years ago. Besides that, all we can do is lock it up and pray and do what we can.
Still no leads on those burglars, so the fear in the community is that they are still out there looking for more homes to break into. Jessica tells us once her grandmother returns from vacation, she will be staying with her until things return somewhat back to normal. I'm Juan Fernandez, Kcal News.
All right, thank you, Juan. When we come back, a strawberry moon is happening over the weekend. We'll have details on how you can see it. And it's officially summer. Paul Diano is back with a final look at this warm forecast. Well, welcome back. The weekend is upon us, and here's a live look outside. Doesn't it look nice? The temperatures are rising. Let's turn it over to meteorologist Paul Diano for a final look at the forecast. It's summer, and it feels like summer.
Summer feels like summer, and you have an escape hatch. The escape hatch is driving west until you hit the Pacific Ocean. A place like Malibu will be no warmer than 72, 73 degrees with your feet in the sand on the beach. Same story for most of our beach locations. It's an easy way to cool off. I'm not sure if it's going to be cheap, but it would be easy. Downtown Los Angeles is warming up as well. Mostly sunny skies, currently 76 degrees there. Pasadena, you are warming up. 81 degrees, Santa Ana 73, Victorville 86, Temecula 82. Ocean temperature rising as well. It is 65 degrees. That's the warmest I've seen it this year. I've seen it as high as 64 several times. 65 is the current ocean temperature, making Mother Nature's air conditioner a little bit less efficient when the ocean's running warmer. Metro area this weekend, mid to upper 80s. That's nowhere close to a record, but it will be the warmest weather we've seen so far this year. Smallest but non-zero chance of a thunderstorm Sunday afternoon. Valleys, you're getting hot. You're going to get there today. You'll be hot again tomorrow and Sunday and Monday. Some cooling, but not much toward the middle of next week. As hot as 99 this weekend. Inland Empire, you're getting hot as well. Upper 90s today, right around 96 to 100. all the way through the extended forecast. Welcome to the first week of summer. And our deserts, you are the hot spot. I think those weekend temperatures might be undercutting it a bit. Some of you may get as hot as 108 on Saturday or Sunday, but just head to the beach. Mid-70s there for a while. Back to you, Sheba.
All right, thank you, Paul. A sweet surprise is ushering in the start of summer. Stargazers can check out a so-called strawberry moon tonight. It will appear low in the sky and stay close to the horizon. Despite its name, the strawberry moon looks more like a pretty shade of gold, not really red. It will be at its fullest tonight, but will last through Sunday. And if you're trying to get the best look, find a location where you can get a low view of the eastern horizon just before dusk. Disneyland officials have released new information for this year's Oogie Boogie Bash at California Adventure. That's fun to say. The event starts in late August and goes through Halloween. Tickets go on sale June 27th. Disney also announced that the Haunted Mansion will reopen for a season with a virtual queue for riders who want to experience the Nightmare Before Christmas holiday overlay. Well, after being turned down by UConn's Dan Hurley, the Lakers reportedly have their new head coach. The team has reportedly hired J.J. Redick to a 4-year deal that's worth about $8 million a year. Redick will turn 40 on Monday. He's only 6 months older than LeBron James. The move is considered a big gamble for the Purple and Gold as Redick has no head coaching experience. The former Clipper joins the Lakers after working as an NBA analyst for ESPN since its retirement in 2021. Redick is a 15-year league veteran and played college hoops at Duke. The focus now turns to bringing back James, who can opt out of his current deal and sign a new one. The LA Kings officially unveiled their rebranded logos. The team's new primary look is a reimagined version of the iconic Kings logo from 1988 to 1998. There's also an updated version of the original Kings crown from their inaugural season in LA. And finally, look at this. The Point Defiance Zoo in Washington State is sharing video of one of its residents. This is Walnut. He loves peanut butter. He doesn't know that the sandwich he has is laced with medication. Zookeepers say Walnut has 2 teeth that needed to be pulled out and he needed some antibiotics. So they got creative and put it in this sandwich. So adorable. Thanks for watching Kcal News at 11:30. Kcal News at noon with Amy Johnson is next.
Now you can get your Kcal News, weather, and live stream all in one place on the CBS News app. Download it free today.